Idiot Box.
Spider-Man, where are you coming from, Spider-Man? Nobody knows who you are.
Greetings all, I'm Dubious Khan, and welcome once again to a not quite full episode of Into the Idiot Box. After the response I got to my video on the chronological order of Kim Possible Season 4, I've decided to keep on doing these shorter, decimal episodes to talk about interesting aspects of TV shows, rather than covering a full TV episode or a full series like I do in the main episodes of Into the Idiot Box. So today, let's talk Spider-Man. Spider-Man is, obviously, one of the most recognizable superheroes out there and is essentially Marvel Comics' flagship character, and as such, he's usually the one that Marvel uses to bring in new readers and fans through other media. Well, at least until recently. Anyway, Spider-Man has had a long history being adapted to television, starting with the original cartoon series in 1967, a live-action series in 1977 that no one ever talks about, a Japanese tokusatsu series in 1978 which gave Spider-Man a giant robot for some reason, another cartoon series in 1981 which morphed into Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends later that same year, Spider-Man the Animated Series, which ran on Fox for 5 seasons, later turning into Spider-Man Unlimited, which made everybody wonder just what the hell the executives at Fox were smoking. A 2003 animated series on MTV, which also nobody ever talks about. Spectacular Spider-Man, which has fans raving about it to this day, and culminating in the present with Ultimate Spider-Man, which those self-same fans regard as a harbinger of the coming apocalypse. However, there is a small bit of Spider-Man television history that tends to get overlooked, and it may very well be the strangest. Okay, second strangest. Because from 1974 to 1977, Spider-Man was a recurring character on a series where you wouldn't expect to see a licensed superhero. Yes, the Electric Company. If you aren't familiar with this show, here's the basic breakdown. The Electric Company was produced by what was then known as the Children's Television Workshop, the producers of Sesame Street. Much like Sesame Street, the show used sketches, cartoons, and other elements to educate its audience. However, the Electric Company was targeted to an older audience, generally around first and second graders, with a focus on reading and common early grammar concepts like contraction, plurals, and such like. The show had been on the air for 3 seasons when Spider-Man was introduced and would continue for another 3 when production ended in 1977. The series had a recurring cast of actors including Judy Grobert, Skip Hinnant, Jim Boyd, Luis Avalos, Hattie Winston, and most notably, Rita Moreno and Morgan Freeman. Yes, that Morgan Freeman.
Hey! Help! Help! Police! Police! Help! That's me.
However, if you ever meet Morgan Freeman, do not bring this up, because apparently he does not like to be reminded that he was actually on this show. I wasn't able to find any information on how or why CTW decided to add Spider-Man to the Electric Company, but I did discover that whatever the deal was, Marvel provided the rights to the character at no cost to CTW. This did, however, mean that only Spider-Man could be used on the show, and not any of his supporting cast or villains. This meant, of course, that new villains had to be created for the show, and of course, being a kids show targeted for the 7 to 9-year-old set in the 1970s, these were not exactly the A-list of supervillains.
Suddenly, there's a routine fly ball.
I got it! No sweat!
Dumbo camps under it. No need to go to the wall for this one. But wait! The wall is coming to him! The ball goes over the wall for a cheap home run.
That's right, kiddies. I'm the spoiler.
He also likes to spoil cake.
And ice cream.
Excuse me, sir. Oh dear, it appears someone's been mugged. Well, I don't want to get involved. Pardon me, can you tell me the way to Sesame Street?
Oh, oui, oui, monsieur.
Merci.
You go 3 blocks left,
Yeah.
and then you go... right.
I want 300 all-beef patties, 157 of them with cheese, 6 with no relish, and the last 22 on a Kaiser roll.
Why, certainly coming right up. Here you go. With the relish. And the Kaiser rolls, that will be $126.
That's what you think!
Have a nice day! Will the blowhard have a nice day? Let's hope not.
The Spidey Super Story sketches, as they became known, were one of the most popular segments on the Electric Company, and occasionally Spidey would show up in other sketches on the show, usually to torment the character J. Arthur Crank, played by Jim Boyd, who was apparently the only character on the show who didn't know Spider-Man existed outside of the comics.
Now take a look over here at these two letters. See them right here? You notice the E and the A are a different color than the other letters in a word. Yeah, you can see that. That's easy enough to spot. Now, the reason we've done that is because EA, a lot of times when they're together, make the sound E, as in steel. Yeah, so we're going to be checking a lot of this stuff out today, so I want you to pay attention to this. And I know it's a drag, but you ain't doing nothing, are you? Okay.
Hi,
so
J. Arthur.
hi, Sil.
Hi, what you doing?
Oh, well, Sil, I'll tell you, I was just teaching the troops out there how to spell steel.
Oh, you were teaching them how to spell T.
What's that?
T, you know, like in one lump or two.
Now, I beg to differ with you, sweetie. Take a look. I'll show you what I mean. Steel. Now, just watch this. S. T. S. Hey, where is it? T. Wait, S. T. E. A. L. L. T. Somebody stole steel.
As far as the sketches themselves, well, they're pretty basic. Bad guy has planned, which is usually something minor if not inconsequential. Spider-Man is either already on the scene or comes across what the bad guy is doing, a few cheats in the action department using drawn comic panels, and eventually Spidey beats the bad guy and the sketch ends. Where the show got creative, though, was in its use of Spider-Man to further its goals. Unlike every other character who were played by the main cast of the Electric Company, Spider-Man never spoke out loud. Instead, his dialogue would appear as word balloons, which meant that the audience would have to read the balloons to understand what Spidey was saying. Now, this doesn't seem like a big thing now, but this was actually a pretty clever way to get kids to practice reading without picking up a book. These segments got so popular that Marvel published a tie-in comic that ran for 57 issues from 1974 to 1982. Again, these comics were targeted at a younger age bracket than Marvel's normal fare, and the creative teams on this series often remarked that editorial guidelines were more stringent than Marvel's main lines, as this series not only had to be approved by Marvel's editorial board, but each issue also had to be signed off on by CTW as well. These stories would feature Spider-Man, allowed in this format to appear as Peter Parker with his usual supporting cast, fighting both the villains that appeared on the Electric Company and some of his usual nemesis, plus a few other Marvel villains besides. Some characters from the Electric Company would also appear in these stories, such as Jennifer of the Jungle and Fargo North, Decoder. As time went on, Marvel would use this series to introduce readers to other Marvel heroes like Captain America, Iceman, and the Cat. So how are the segments? Honestly, really entertaining in that cheesy 70s kids show way. Given the general tone due to the target audience's age, Spider-Man is in character, some of the villains, while silly, pose an actual threat, and a lot of the gags work. Now, while select episodes of the Electric Company have been released on DVD, due to rights issues, most of those episodes have had the Super Spidey stories removed from them. There are a few which are still included, but by and large, you're not going to find these sketches on any commercial release. However, a few enterprising fans have archived a number of them on YouTube, so if you're curious about this strange chapter in the television history of Spider-Man, do a search for Spidey Super Stories, and you can witness this amusing insanity for yourself. I'm Dubious Khan. Join me next time for another trip into the Idiot Box, and to close this video out, I give you Morgan Freeman berating Spider-Man.
Now listen here, you! The rule book clearly states that no spectators or walls are allowed on the field of play. So I'm throwing you out of the ballpark and take that ball with you. Lucky I didn't slap him with a $50 fine. I can be pretty stupid when I want to be.
Spider-Man, where are you coming from, Spider-Man? Nobody knows who you are.